Hey guys, it's Sharika and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I would love to have you. So today we are doing some giant king crab legs here, and I have my mayo and mustard dip. For today's drink, I'm just doing a Blue Water Breeze cocktail. So let's go ahead and say grace. Amen. Hey y'all, happy Thursday. Ooh. Y'all, I'm so hot. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. Let me try this drink, girl. What y'all been up to? That's good. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. Let me just tell y'all a quick little rundown. I wasn't gonna do a mukbang today, but I did want some king crabs, so that's why I don't have any butter or anything like that made up to put on top of my crab legs, because this wasn't in the plan. Okay, so that's why they look full, but hey, we gonna roll with it, okay? Because I said let me just go say hey to my babies. So we do have some crab legs here. I know it's a little bright. So we do have a story time today that one of you guys sent me. So this story time is from Web of Lies, and the episode is called Hitchhiking. I don't have the link to it because I watched it on television, so they just basically sent over the episode that they wanted me to watch. I watched it, and now I'm gonna tell y'all all about it, okay? So let me just take the first bite. Can y'all see that? It might be too bright. Ooh, so good. The king crab legs are from Costco. Okay, so there was this girl named Lauren, and Lauren was born with some type of eyesight condition. I don't remember the name of it, but she lost 75% of her eyesight in her left eye and about 50% in her right. So she would never be able to drive a car or anything like that. She wore really thick like bifocal glasses, and even though her sight was so bad, she loved to draw, and she was really good at it. She would draw like pictures of herself. She would draw like roses and different things like that. Like, you would never be able to tell that she had poor eyesight by the way that she created these beautiful pictures. So, of course, because her glasses were really thick and kids are really cruel, she would get bullied in school all the time. She only had one friend. We'll just call her friend Christina. So Christina was her only friend, and Christina also would get bullied at school. So they basically had each other. They were from a very small town. So with Lauren always dealing with, you know, the bullying and stuff like that, she struggled a lot with her mental health. So she eventually changed her appearance. She started wearing like dark baggy clothes, piercings, tattoos, black hair. She was kind of getting into that gothic look, right? Didn't have any friends, like I said, just the one friend, but she would still just be really lonely. Y'all, that's so good. Hold on. Oh. So she eventually turned to Facebook, so that way she could have new friends that she's never met, that's not judging her. And she built this really supporting community, but she still didn't feel like she was, you know, free, because, you know, your parents are on Facebook, and, you know, a lot of people that you really know are on Facebook. So her friend introduced her to another app that was something like Facebook, but it was less rules. So she gets on this app, and you know, guys would hit them up and different things like that. Oh, hold on. So she gets on this app and she's meeting people left and right, just having a good time, right? Nothing major, right? Let me turn these crab legs this way because that bright color look food. So this one particular night, her family, like her sister, her brother, her mom, were all headed out to another family member's house, and they asked Lauren if she wanted to come with them. So Lauren told them no, she had plans to meet a friend at the movies. So they asked her, you know, well, did you need a ride, whatever. She was like, no, she was fine. So when they came back, Lauren wasn't home. It was this road that went on for miles before you seen any grocery stores or anything, and the town labeled that road the Highway of Tears because women would hitchhike, come up missing, found dead on that road. So that was a terrible road, right? And there were already 2 girls missing. They had recently found one of the girls on that road, but she was with a friend and they never found her, right? So one day, the police decided to just ride up and down that road, and he noticed a black truck that looked kind of suspicious. So he decided to pull the truck over, right? Let's see what's in this. I really thought I was gonna lose some meat with this because I thought I left it in the pot too long. Look at that, y'all. So he pulled the black truck over. When he pulled the black truck over, the guy just let the window down just enough to hand the officer his ID. The guy name was Cody, and he was 20 years old. It was dark and it was snowing. So the police took his flashlight and flashed it towards the guy and noticed a little bit of blood on his cheek. The police told him, get out of the car. The boy got out of the car, and the police noticed that he had blood stains on his clothes. He had a knife in the back, a bloody knife, and like a wrench that also had blood on it. So the cop asked him, excuse me, the cop asked him, the cop said, well, you know, what you got going on? You got blood on your face, you got blood on your clothes, like, where are you coming from? So Cody said, me and my buddy went deer hunting, and we found a deer, and we beat him to death, and now my friend is going to get rid of the deer, right? The cop calls for backup, but it wasn't like a police officer. It was something like animal cruelty officer or something like that. It was, he had a title, but I can't remember the name of the title. So the guy came out and he followed the trail. He took his flashlight and followed the trail from the truck's tires. He just followed the trail. So back at the car, the officer with Cody was saying, okay, so if we test this blood that's on you, it's gonna come back as deer blood, right? So Cody was like, yeah, I guess. So the officer that was in the woods, he started having problems with his flashlight. Right before his flashlight turned off, he noticed something in the, in the snow. And right before his flashlight gave out, he shined the light and seen that it was a human body. Everybody came back there, and it's a girl's body. Glasses on the side, shoes. Her pants were down to her ankles. She had been beat across the head, right? So they started searching Cody's truck. They found a book bag in the passenger side with all this girl information in it. They put him in the police car, used the information from off the cards to call the girl's daddy. The daddy came to the scene and they told him they can't really give him any evidence, but they asked if this was her book bag, and they were in the middle of an investigation for a homicide. Naturally, her daddy lost it. They tell him, of course, they read him his rights, and they tell him that he can call a lawyer. And he just kept saying he want to call his daddy. So they're like, you can call a lawyer, but we're going to take you to the station. They take him to the station, and he said he didn't have anything to do with any murders. He said that while they were deer hunting, he noticed the girl, but he didn't want to have anything to do with it. So they ran away from the scene, but they did see her. Right? So they go through his cell phone. Text messages back and forth between him and Lauren. So this built up for weeks. He would ask her inappropriate questions like what position she like and this, that, and the third. And she wasn't really feeding into it. She never really went there with him. But she just wanted somebody to talk to. She was a young girl. So whenever they finally agreed to meet, she said, so we're just gonna, and they showed like the real messages. She was like, so we're just gonna hang out, right? Nothing sexual. So he was like, yeah. They met at her school. They went for a ride. And we're assuming that's where it all happened. So he finally started telling some truth, that he did know her, and that he agreed to meet up with her, and that everything that they did was consensual. And once they got back in his truck, he said she started beating herself over the head, and he couldn't believe what was going on, so he pushed her out of the truck. That was his lie. he said, I have a fiance. We had this whole dream of, you know, getting married and having kids, and I'm supposed to be at home with her, right? So they ran the DNA that was on his clothes, and it came back, the DNA was from Lauren. But he also had some other blood stains that didn't belong to Lauren. So they had some girls that was missing. They put 2 and 2 together. Somehow they found out about a house that him and his buddies would have parties, smoke, drink, have girls there, and things like that. So they go to this house. Remember, I told you guys earlier in the story that 2 girls had came up missing. One girl was found on that road, but her friend was never found. When they got to the house, they found her DNA. It had blood was everywhere in there that they didn't clean up properly. Blood on the couch that matched the friend's blood. The one that they found, her blood was on the carpet. They had like wrenches and different tools that they didn't clean properly. They had those girls' blood on it. So they put 2 and 2 together. So they were saying that it was a serial killer out there. It was basically him the whole time, kidnapping these hitchhikers. But now he switched it up and took a different approach and went on this website and met Lauren. So the investigation went on for months. They had more than enough evidence to charge him with all 3. But they were saying, you know, it was so many missing women, and because he wasn't telling the truth, they don't know really how many women he's done this to and got away with it. So he did get life. Girl, it was crazy. It's some real sick people out in the world. Like, for real. Okay, guys, so I hope you're done eating. If you're eating with me, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at I am Sharika B, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all.